Hello, this is a not-so-short video presentation on solving systems of equations by elimination. All right, elimination is arguably the easiest way to solve systems of equations. The problem is we can't always use elimination. I mean, there are times when substitution is the way to go, so it's a system that we had to learn, but by and large, if you can use elimination, I would recommend using it. All right, let's start with this. Step one is write each equation in standard form. So I'm going to rewrite the two equations so that I can put them in standard form. So 6y, I will use a different color, 6y minus 12 equals 20x. I want the x, then the y, then the constant. So I'm going to just rearrange this, putting this side on the left and this side on the right. So 20x equals 6y minus 12, subtract 6y, and I get 20x minus 6y equals negative 12. I then am going to divide both sides by 2 to reduce this equation, and I get 10x minus 3y equals negative 6. And then with the other equation, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm actually going to start off by moving this side and this side, writing them on opposite sides. Negative 20x minus 8y equals negative 16. And I'm going to divide both equations by 4. And I get negative 5x minus 2y equals negative 4. Now I said write both equations in standard form. Notice that I have my coefficient of x being negative 5. It's not truly in standard form, but for the purposes of what we're going to do, the sign of the x term doesn't matter. So it's not a strict standard form, but I could have divided by negative 4 also. All right. Step 2, work sideways. What I'm going to do is rewrite these two equations. 10x minus 3y equals negative 6, and negative 5x minus 2y equals negative 4. And I'm working sideways. So I write them one above the other, and between every step, put arrows. Now, step 3 says multiply one or both equations by a number. I missed the word by. It should be right here, by a number, or numbers, to make coefficients of x or y opposite. So I look at this. I have 10 and negative 5. I have negative 3 and negative 2. I want these to be the same number but opposite, either the x terms or the y terms. Well, I look at this, and if I multiply this equation by 2, I'll have a negative 10, and then I'll have a positive 10. Negative 10 and positive 10 are opposites, so I'm going to multiply this equation at the bottom by 2. And I show it by putting a little 2 in a circle above my arrow. But you could just write, some people write times 2. It's just written right here. It's up to you how you do it. And when I do that, I rewrite this equation, 10x minus 3y equals negative 6. I multiply everything, the 5, the 2, the 4, and I get negative 10x minus 4y equals negative 8. Now that these are opposites, I add the two equations together, and 10 and minus 10 cancel. I end up with negative 7y equals negative 14. Divide by negative 7, divide by negative 7, and I get y equals 2. Now, just like we did yesterday, we're going to substitute the 2 back into one of these equations. Doesn't matter which one. I'm going to pick this equation right here. 10x minus 3y equals negative 6. Doesn't matter which equation I put this back into. 10x minus 3 times 2, substituting this for y, equals negative 6. 10x minus 6 equals negative 6. Add 6. And I get, oops, I lost my x. 10x equals 0. Divide by 10. Divide by 10. X is equal to 0. And I end up with the ordered pair 0, 2. And I'm done. All right. I'm going to do one more example. And again, like we did before, I want you to pause the video and try it on your own. So let me write the example. Here's the next example. All right. And I gave you the solution, negative 6, 6. I want you to solve this, pausing the video, and as soon as you get stuck, start watching the video until you get unstuck, pause, and continue. All right, let's begin. Did you pause? All right, here we go. Step 1, write each equation in standard form. So I'm going to take the first equation, put this on the left, this on the right. Negative 5x plus 6 equals 6y. And I'm going to subtract 6y and subtract 6. Actually, I don't think I'm doing this the fastest way. Minus 6y minus 6y minus 6 minus 6. And I end up with negative 5x minus 6y equals negative 6. It would have been faster to just add 5x to both sides. Taking my second equation, it's already in standard form. Just going to put the x and y terms on the left. 7x plus 7y equals 0. Now, notice I have, just like last time, both equations, one on top of the other, because I want to work sideways. All right, I'm going to work in this direction. All right, multiply one or both equations by a number or numbers to make the coefficients of x or y opposites. Well, I look at this, and this is a negative 5, this is a 7, positive and negative. This is a 6, and this is a 7. Neither one is easier than the other. I'm going to multiply this equation, the top one, by 7, and the bottom one by 5, and I'm going to eliminate the x term. 7 times 5 is 35. 5 times 7 is 35. They're going to be opposites, easy to eliminate. So I get minus 35x minus 42y, and that's a 2, 42y, equals negative 42. And here I have 35x plus 35y equals 0. 35. They're opposites. I add them together. These will cancel. And I end up with negative 7y equals negative 42. Divide by negative 7. And y equals negative 6. Now I just choose an equation. Doesn't matter which one. Looking at this, I truly think this equation would be easier to work with because of the 0. So 7x plus 7y, replacing y with negative 6, is equal to 0. 7x minus 42. Add 42. Don't want the equal sign there. Plus 42. 7x equals 42. And divide by 7. We're almost done. And we get x equals 6. So my final answer, 6 and negative 6. All right. Write equations in standard form. Always work sideways until you get to the point that you add the equations together. Multiply one or both equations by some number to make the coefficients opposite. Add, which will always eliminate a variable or term, and then we solve like we have before. All right. I hope you don't have too many questions, and I'll see you. Well, heck, I'm not going to really see you guys in class till Monday. So have a great weekend. Talk to you later.